Okay, I'm going to be up front. Between episodes 9 and 10, the penultimate episode in the mid-season finale, I think episode 9 was superior. Ironically enough, people are having issues playing this episode on BET Plus. Thankfully, I got out of bed at 3:30 because I tried to go to sleep, but I just couldn't. And I decided to watch both episodes, and I watched through Amazon Prime, so it's about 10 o'clock when I'm recording this, 10 a.m., and everybody and their mother online is talking about how episode 9 isn't playing. So again, I'm so glad I watched it early. My score is an 8 out of 10, but I think what hurt this episode was BET Plus doing too much. They put out way too many clips and photos and all. I mean, heck, the 5-minute scene of Fatima crashing Deja's birthday party was bad enough in terms of the length of that, but they also dropped the cliffhanger ending where Zach finds Jeremiah and beats him up. But yeah, mercy me. Mercy me. Isn't that a Marvin Gaye song? Huh. Okay, well, in any case, before getting into the actual review, make sure you like and subscribe. It does help the channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content right here on Our Kind of Entertainment. So, picking up where we left off, everybody's on the floor after Jeremiah, fired off some shots. It is confirmed that Jeremiah was the one firing the gun. Some people feel like it was those robbers or that Big Papa character who's supposed to show up in season 3B. But no, turns out it was Jeremiah. He had taken one of Belinda's gun, and it turns out she had already called the cops. However, that does not become a relevant plot point at all in this episode or the next one. So, yeah, doesn't really matter. So, in any case, while, everybody's afraid to even move from where they're at right now on the floor, Zach is upset that his brother shot at him. And he pretty much blurts out about the whole thing in regards to Fatima being pregnant. Nobody responds to that, though, because to my knowledge, no one aside from Angela is aware. Not Nate, not Tony, not Connie. So I was a bit surprised nobody had a baby. So Fatima's like, look, she wants to go up there too, but, Zach gets Tony and Nate to get Fatima out of the apartment so she doesn't get hurt. And Fatima keeps saying, look, it's either this or us. And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, is she alluding to the whole violence thing going on, or us as in Fatima and Zach, or Fatima and their baby? I don't know. I mean, regardless as to how Fatima feels in the moment, somebody has to do something, because they don't know if Jeremiah is going to come down those stairs and start raining bullets down. So if Zach feels he needs to go up there to take care of it, then he's going to do it. I do admire the fact Fatima wasn't going to let her man go up there alone, but, I think the funniest part about this is when Zach, I believe, says, well, where's your gun? I don't have it. What? Hey, I'm just trying to be better, so I'm not carrying it around all the time. I don't know why, but that really cracked me up. So Zach rushes up the stairs. Turns out Jeremiah escaped through a window, and Fatima's upset at Zach over the whole thing. And, Zach's like, what did I do? And I'm just thinking, like, you're literally standing in the living room you just destroyed. Really, Zach? But turns out Belinda is upset because Jeremiah pretty much ransacked the place. Took her gun, took her money, which was her rent money, and a bunch of other stuff. And the fact that nobody cared was pretty effed up. I still don't think Belinda deserved any of this. I mean, I know people don't want to hear me say it, but I'm just saying how I feel about it. So we go over to the Rise Ventures office, and Bryce and Preston are going over the contract. And Preston makes it clear that this isn't a bailout. I expect to make a full return on my investment in the company. Zach shows up. He's still not talking to Bryce. I look, hey, I'm glad you're doing okay, but you're still on my, crap list. I don't want to have anything to do with you right now. I just want to talk to Preston. And unbeknownst to Zach, Bryce is actually eavesdropping. So he's really mad about the entire ordeal with Jeremiah, and he just needs to vent to somebody. So from there, Preston just tells him to kind of calm down due to the fact that, look, what we need to do, let's just go to a bar, get a few drinks, because we just sit down, talk about this, and try to figure things out one step at a time. So Bryce actually runs into Preston in the hallway and gives him the card, which is good continuity because I think Dr. Reed gave Bryce his card when they met in season 2. And he's like, hey, this is therapist, just give him a call and maybe, he could talk things out with him and, I want to skedaddle. So we go over to Fatima and Angela arriving back at Fatima's place. And, well, this is pretty much the 5-minute clip that I've already discussed because I was right. Things played out exactly the way I thought they would. It turns out the only difference is Angela goes in there first, and I could be wrong, but I think I mentioned this in my video when I theorized how things would play out. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It doesn't matter. The outcome is still the same. Angela goes over to try to, warn Deja of the impending wrath of Fatima. Hey, can you just turn the music down and move some of these cars out here because you're, blasting his music. You're blocking her driveway. So, just kind of do better before she goes off. And turns out Sean is there, and then Angela decides just because Sean is there at Deja's that she's done with him. And I'm thinking to myself, well, does it really matter, Angela? Because apparently, as we learn later in this episode and in the next episode, she sleeps with different people all the time. Sean is a piece of meat and a plaything for her. So what if he knows somebody? I mean, that's the thing about and I'm not going to say like, oh, I hate Angela because of this, but it's just the hypocritical nature of her as a character. Like, for example, in season 2, when she broke things off with Bryce because she couldn't handle his swinger mentality, and she moved on, and that was all well and good. But then when Bryce just shows up at the same building as where she and Fatima works, I think that he went on a date with someone at the law firm, and then Angela got all up in his face about it. It's like, wait, why are you were just neighing like a horse the night before, so why are you getting on Bryce's case about going on a date with another woman? You're the one who didn't want to have anything to do with him. So Angela's a piece of work at times. So essentially, Deja does not heed Angela's warnings, and then Fatima comes over herself, pours the drink on the speaker. I'm just sitting there the whole time like, first of all, are any of these people even aware that she is the fiance of the landlord? I mean, to them, who is Fatima? Is she just like a loud, bitter woman who's coming there to hate on Deja? Like, I mean, it just seems unlikely that the entire party will be shut down by this one person. This was a hard scene to watch. I don't know why. It's like I said in that video I did. The tension and all just feels so forced. Even worse is that everybody's talking about, oh, I can't believe what Zach did at Belinda. He really needs to work on his anger. And I'm thinking like, what the F did... Fatima, are we just going to act like you didn't just tear up Deja's apartment and then take a baseball bat and wail on a random person's car? Just a random person's car. And this isn't for me. I know, like, well, the pregnancy, and I'm like, I don't even care at this point if the pregnancy impacted Fatima's behavior or not. This was displaced anger due to the whole thing that happened at Belinda's with Jeremiah and Zach. And on top of that, it's just one of those things where even if she wasn't carrying a baby inside of her, Fatima would totally do something like this. It just felt completely forced. The saving grace was Angela saying like, oh, come on, girl, I was going to eat that. And I'm thinking, like, you were going to eat that? I mean, you weren't even invited to the party. How did you know if Deja would even let you have a slice? Just saying. So in any case, we get over to the bar, and Dr. Reed comes in as Preston leaves, saying, hey, just going to let you two talk it out. Dr. Reed reveals that Bryce gave him a call about Zach, and, despite the fact that Bryce and Zach are kind of on the outs right now, he is concerned about, his well-being. So Preston and Dr. Reed were truly the saving graces of this episode. And he talks to Zach about, the whole situation, and that, look, think about everything you've overcome in your life, and that if you stoop down to your old behaviors and way of solving problems, Jeremiah is going to win. Essentially, you have it's like Tony told him last week, you have a lot to lose now. Jeremiah doesn't. And even though it's understandable why you wouldn't see this as a feasible excuse, but your brother has an addiction problem. And, Fatima's okay. You need to just talk with her. I mean, essentially, Dr. Reed is reiterating what Tony and Tyrone told him last week. Like all roads, basically the path you want to take to handle this Jeremiah situation is not going to lead anywhere good. That's basically what it is. Like Zach, I don't know. Just calm down, see the truth of what it is, and make a decision from there. I like how Dr. Reed said, I'm not going to make the decision for you or tell you what to do. So from there, we go over to Angela and Fatima just chilling. And now here's where it's a bit divisive online. I think Fatima was kind of out of pocket. Now, you could argue that she was right to call out Angela. Like, Angela, you're not in a relationship and you don't know everything about me and Zach, so who are you to judge or give advice? But the thing is, Angela's her friend. Angela is, has had a front row seat to a lot of the drama between Fatima and Zach. And I just felt like in the moment, Fatima was kind of like not in a position to call out Angela for her random tendencies of not committing to one guy and just sleeping around. I'm like, Fatima, say what you will about Angela, but at least she isn't knocked up by an ill-tempered, guy with a bunch of baby mamas running around. I don't know. It just felt weird. Fatima's behavior and whatnot in this episode, it felt rather disjointed, if you ask me. So Angela got in her feelings, and she decides to leave right as Zach shows up. Basically, Fatima just tries to justify why she didn't tell Zach about Jeremiah, attacking her, and that he's not going to let it go. Saying, I don't want to kill him. I just want to beat the crap out of him until he learns his lesson. And that's pretty much it. He says that that's what it is. It is what it is. Fatima says, well, I know exactly what you're going to do because you just told me, but guess what? All roads are going to lead to you being behind bars. I'm not going to call. I'm not going to come visit. I'm not going to put money on your books. We're going to be done. And then Zach says, hey, okay. So she steps out, and we find out in the next episode she went to Angela's place. I believe Zach calls a guy or gets a call from a guy named Casey, and he says, I got the money. Probably a contact of his, and that's how he knows that Jeremiah is back in the neighborhood. So we go over to the old neighborhood, and Tony and Nate are talking to Connie about everything that went down at Belinda's. And in the middle of their conversation, Jeremiah randomly pops up. Zach pulls up, gets out of his car, and beats the crap out of his brother. Mad about taking a shot at him, mad about pushing his fiance. And that's a wrap. But overall, like I said before, Dr. Reed and Preston saved this episode for me. But yeah, there was just way too much unnecessary tension and drama, especially with the Deja stuff. But like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.